I'm 31, female, and my now ex-husband Sean is 35, male. We were married for 7 years. I met him when I was 23, fresh out of grad school, and he was already working as a project manager in a construction firm. He was funny, charming, and just had that calm, stable presence I thought I needed. I dated a lot of unreliable guys before him, so Sean felt like a breath of fresh air. Responsible, mature, a little emotionally distant, but I brushed it off, thinking maybe it was just how some people are. We talked about kids before marriage. I told him it was a deal breaker if he did not want them, and he said he absolutely wanted to be a dad someday. He was not in a rush, said he'd want to wait a few years, save up, get a house, that kind of thing. Sounded reasonable to me, so I married him at 26. I told him I was ready to try. He seemed hesitant and said maybe we should wait another year. Then another year passed and he said he wanted to get a promotion first. Then it was about taking care of his mother, who was recovering from surgery. Then it was the market being unstable. Excuses piled up like bricks. When I turned 28, I stopped taking my birth control and told him I wanted to start trying for real. He agreed, but his energy felt weird, cold, distant. He never tracked ovulation with me, never asked how appointments were going, always looked exhausted when I brought up baby stuff. Still, we kept trying. For over a year, nothing happened. I went to my OB, got tests done, blood work, ultrasounds, everything. All my tests came back normal. The doctor said maybe stress was a factor. Maybe it was timing. Maybe it was just unexplained infertility. She said if we went a little longer without results, we could start talking about fertility treatments. That year destroyed me. I started spiraling. I blamed myself for everything. I thought maybe I waited too long. Started therapy because I couldn't stop crying all the time. I avoided baby showers. I deleted the baby Pinterest board I had. Even stopped going to church because the constant reminders of family and children just felt like a knife every Sunday. And through it all, Sean sat beside me quietly. He'd hug me, hold my hand, tell me things like, we'll figure it out and it's not your fault. But there was never a real sense of urgency from him. He never went to get tested himself, despite my asking multiple times. Said he'd go, but kept pushing it back. I asked him if he ever changed his mind about kids. And he'd just shake his head and tell me no, he still wanted them, maybe even more than me. I believed him. I had no reason not to. He was my husband. It all came crashing down a few months after my 30th birthday. I was looking for an old tax return in his filing cabinet in the study. He was out playing golf with a co-worker, and I did not think twice about opening it up. But while flipping through one of his folders, I found a sealed envelope from a clinic I'd never heard of. Curiosity got the better of me. I opened it, and that's when everything shifted. It was a medical record, a confirmation letter of a successful vasectomy performed 5 years ago. 5 years. That meant he got it done less than 2 years into our marriage, while I was still on birth control. Before we even started trying, I reread that paper about 10 times. My hands were shaking. I couldn't breathe properly. It felt like I had swallowed concrete. That whole time, when I was crying in the bathroom, when I was blaming myself, when I was in therapy sobbing over what I thought was my broken body, he knew. He sat there and watched me unravel, all while knowing the truth, that I was never going to get pregnant because he had secretly made sure of it. I did not confront him right away. I put the paper back, calmly closed the drawer, and walked out like nothing had happened. That night, I stared at him while he slept, and something inside me just switched off. I couldn't yell, couldn't cry, I couldn't even feel heartbreak anymore. It was like my soul just went numb. But what filled the empty space was something else. Quiet, cold fury. I did not want revenge at first, but after a few days of just observing him, seeing how easily he smiled, how normal he acted, while my world had been quietly falling apart for years because of his lie, something clicked. I wanted him to hurt. Not physically, I just wanted him to feel what it was like to lose everything. To watch the ground beneath him collapse slowly, piece by piece, until all he had left was the same emptiness he left me with. I spent a few weeks crafting a plan. I went and bought a pregnancy test, a cheap one. I peed on it, took a photo of the positive result from the internet, and showed it to him when he got home one evening. He went pale, like ghost-level pale. I expected confusion, maybe even confrontation, but he said congratulations in the most forced voice I have ever heard. I smiled, hugged him, told him I was so happy. I started acting like the excited mom-to-be. I downloaded pregnancy tracker apps, started pretending to feel nauseous in the mornings, left prenatal vitamins out on the counter. I bought baby socks and left them on our bed. Every day I watched him spiral just a little more. He started staying at work later. He was quieter. He stopped sleeping properly. He barely touched me. One night, I heard him crying in the bathroom. That made me smile. Isn't that sick? But it did. I felt like I had a little power again. I told a few close friends I was pregnant. I let the lie bloom until it took a life of its own. Every week I'd update him on the baby's progress. Told him I wanted a gender reveal. Started pinning nursery designs on Pinterest again and made sure he saw it. I told him I wanted to move into a bigger place. And he said maybe we should wait. I insisted. I said I wanted the baby to have a backyard. He finally agreed. We sold the house. He took out a huge loan for the down payment on a bigger home. I watched him age 10 years in 3 months. By month 6 of my fake pregnancy, he looked like a shell of a man. He lost weight, started getting panic attacks. He begged me to consider adoption instead. Said he was not sure he could handle a baby. I told him that was never part of the plan. I said he should have spoken up years ago if he did not want kids. He looked haunted when I said that. I wonder if he thought I knew. He never asked for a second opinion, never asked to see an ultrasound. I said the baby was too small to show clearly yet, and he believed it. Or maybe he was too afraid to admit the truth. Either way, he went along with it. I even threw a small baby shower at month 8. My best friend helped me set it up. She did not know the full story, just thought I was glowing and happy. I guess I looked convincing. The final part of the plan came on the due date. I had it marked on the calendar. Sean had taken a week off work. He told his boss he was going to be a dad, bought a car seat, set up a crib, packed a hospital bag the night before. I sat down with a folder. Inside it were the vasectomy papers, a copy of the divorce documents I had been preparing quietly for 6 months, and a letter from me. I wrote that I knew everything, that I had known for almost a year, that I had been faking the pregnancy the whole time, and that every tear, every ounce of stress and fear he felt was a fraction of what he put me through for 5 goddamn years. I told him he did not deserve to be a father. He did not even deserve to be a husband. I wrote that I was done, that the house was already up for sale, and that the lawyer would be contacting him in the morning. I left the folder on the kitchen counter, packed my bags, walked out, never looked back. He called me 37 times the next day, left voicemails crying, screaming, begging. I did not listen to a single one. Blocked his number, changed mine, filed the paperwork, took my half of the house sale, and moved 2 states away. Last I heard, he had a nervous breakdown and took leave from work. His family is furious at him. His mom called me a few weeks ago and apologized. Said she always suspected something was off, but never knew what. I did not reply. Some days I feel a little crazy for going that far, but then I remember the nights I cried myself to sleep thinking I was broken. The therapy sessions, the way he sat beside me like he was comforting me when in reality he was lying through his teeth. And I do not feel bad anymore. But maybe I need to ask once, AITA for lying about my pregnancy and leaving my husband after he put me through so much by not telling me about his vasectomy? Update 1. Hi, it's been a while since I last posted and I did not really expect things to keep going, but here we are. After everything I did, I thought Sean would finally back off and disappear into whatever mess he made of his life. But turns out he still had some chaos left in him, and I did not think he could surprise me anymore, but what happened next honestly messed with my head more than the fake pregnancy ever did. Because this time he did not come for me directly, he went for everyone around me. First, it was my old roommate, Riley. She called me freaking out because Sean had shown up at her job, not her house, her job. He told her he was worried about me, that he heard I'd had a miscarriage and was not coping well, and that he was trying to find me to make sure I was not a danger to myself. She didn't buy it, thankfully, but she said he was acting really convincing, like crying and shaking kind of convincing. Then he slipped her a letter to give to me, which she never opened, just gave straight to me later. It was another handwritten disaster, and this time telling me he forgave me for my rage and hoped I'd come home soon because he missed our family. Our family. The one that never existed. Then he went to my cousin's bakery and left a tip envelope with my name on it. Inside was a photo of a nursery he apparently decorated. Full-on crib, wallpaper, changing station, little onesies with ducks. He even hung a fake sonogram on the wall. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The man literally made a fake baby room in his house and thought that was a normal thing to show someone he stalked. My cousin was terrified and begged me to take this to the cops. Again, I did. But unless he breaks the protection order physically, there's only so much they can do. I even asked my lawyer if this could count as psychological harassment, and we're pushing for it to be included in the permanent restraining order. But the absolute peak of this freak show was when I got a message from a random account on Instagram with just one sentence. "Did you ever tell him you lost the baby?" I felt my stomach drop because it meant he was still telling people I'd been pregnant, still clinging to this fantasy. I did not respond, but I clicked the profile. It was full of photos of Sean and some random woman smiling, having brunch at the park. All normal couple stuff. Except the captions were all things like, "building something new" and "second chances are everything." I kept scrolling and eventually found a photo of the fake nursery. Same duck onesies, same wallpaper. The comments had people congratulating them. One of them said, "Welcome to fatherhood, bro." I wanted to laugh, but I felt sick. This man lied to me, broke me, and then when I burned his life down, he just built a new one on the ashes, still using the lie. And now some other woman is pregnant with a dream he never wanted. Or maybe thinks she is. I don't even know if she's real or if she knows what he's done. I debated reaching out to her, but honestly, I don't think I have it in me. Maybe someday. I'm not going to play the hero. I'm just going to protect myself and keep every receipt in case it all explodes again. But the part that's stuck in my head isn't even the new girlfriend or the fake nursery. It's the sonogram on the wall. I recognized it. It was not just some random image from Google. It was the same one I had shown him during my fake pregnancy. The same one I pulled off the internet and showed him on my phone months ago. He must have saved it, printed it, framed it, and that's when it really hit me. He's not just a liar, he's completely gone. Like, fully living in his own version of reality where I was pregnant, we lost a baby, and now he's rewriting the whole story to make himself the grieving victim who deserves a second chance. It's not just disturbing, it's dangerous. And I am finally starting to understand just how far someone will go to protect their version of the truth. I do not know what's going to happen next. I do not feel safe yet, but I do feel prepared. And if this ever circles back into my life again, I'm not running. I already burned it all down once. I will do it again if I have to. Update 2. Hi again. I did not think I'd be back here this soon, but something happened that honestly sent chills down my spine, and I needed to get it out. So last week, I got a call from my lawyer saying someone had filed a request to modify the terms of the restraining order. I thought maybe Sean was trying to weasel his way out of it or claim I was overreacting. Nope. Turns out he actually requested supervised visitation rights. Yeah, you read that right. Visitation. As in, like he thinks there's a child involved. I almost dropped the phone when she told me. My lawyer was confused too. Asked if there was anything I hadn't told her, like maybe a real pregnancy or something I did not want on the record. I told her straight up, there's no baby. There never was a baby. And the man's either lost his mind or is playing some next level manipulation game. We obviously filed to shut that down immediately, but it did not stop there. The same day I found out about the visitation request, I got a voicemail from a woman I did not recognize. She said her name was Lily and she was Sean's fiancée. She said she thought I should know that Sean was trying to do the right thing now and be a father to the baby we lost. Said he had forgiven me and was trying to heal. She actually had the nerve to say she hoped I'd find peace soon. I was speechless. This man told his new fiancée that we had a child, that I had a miscarriage, and that he was stepping up to be some sort of grieving hero now. It gets worse. Lily said they were expecting their own baby soon and that she was looking forward to having a blended family. Like I'm supposed to co-parent a baby that never existed with a man who manipulated my entire reproductive future? It felt like I was being dragged into someone else's delusion, or worse, into a lie he's telling someone new, just like he lied to me. Later that night, Lily messaged me again, and this time the tone was different, angry. She said Sean showed her the fake sonogram I used during my pregnancy and claimed I had faked the miscarriage just to destroy him emotionally. Said I was unstable, jealous, and obsessed. She accused me of stalking them. I did not respond, but I screenshotted every word. This man really twisted the entire thing around and made me out to be some unhinged ex who made up a baby just to mess with his life. The scariest part is Lily believed him. I started wondering if he ever showed her the vasectomy papers. Probably not. I wouldn't be shocked if he's lying about that too. For all I know, he's still sterile and dragging her into the same hell he put me through. Only this time, he's flipping the script. It made me think about how easy it was for him to do this. How easily he rewrote the whole story. He knew I wouldn't talk publicly. He knew I'd keep everything quiet. He knew I was the type who just wanted to move on and disappear. And now he's using my silence to paint me as the crazy one. And the sad part is, Lily's not the first person who believed him. I got a message from an old mutual friend a few days ago asking why I never told her I was pregnant. I did not even respond. I just deleted the thread. It's not worth trying to fix every lie Sean tells. I'm just documenting everything and keeping it in a folder. But here's the part that made my blood boil. I found out that Sean threw a memorial for our fake baby, like an actual gathering with candles and framed photos of the sonogram. He invited people. People brought flowers. I saw photos on someone's Instagram story. I honestly thought I was going to throw up. He gave the baby a name, a gender. He named her Ivy. Said she would have been beautiful and full of light. I stood there staring at the screen like I was watching a funeral for a ghost I never created. I do not know if he did it to manipulate Lily or if he actually believes his own lie now. Maybe both. Maybe he can't even separate what's real anymore. So now I'm working with my lawyer to make sure this visitation stunt does not go any further, and to see if we can hit him with defamation charges too. Because enough is enough. I tried to walk away quietly. I gave him a clean break. I could have exposed him years ago, but he pushed it too far. He kept pushing. He dragged my name through the dirt, built a fantasy where he's the broken hero, and I'm done staying quiet while he plays victim with a child that never existed. I never thought I'd be in a situation where I'd have to defend myself from being the mother of a baby I never had. But here we are. I am angry. I'm tired. And I'm done being polite about it. Next time he tries to use my name for sympathy, I will make sure the world knows exactly who he is. Update 3. Hi again, back with another update because things just keep getting messier, and honestly at this point it feels like I'm stuck in a Lifetime movie that refuses to end. After everything with the fake visitation rights and Sean's creepy memorial for a baby that never existed, I thought maybe he'd finally hit rock bottom and disappear into whatever delusion he's living in. I was wrong, so wrong. Because now, instead of backing off, he's trying to rewrite our entire marriage like I never existed in it at all. It started with this email from our old landlord. Totally random. He said he needed my signature to release my name from the lease of our first apartment, which made no sense because that lease ended years ago. I asked him why now. He said Sean told him there'd been a paperwork error and that I was never on the lease to begin with. I literally had bank statements showing I paid half the rent for 2 years. But now Sean is trying to erase any legal proof I ever lived there. Not just erase the lease. He also tried to get me removed from the homeowner records of the house we bought together later. My name was on everything. We had a joint mortgage, joint taxes, even insurance. But apparently, he told the agency I forged my part of the paperwork and that I never financially contributed. I laughed when I first heard it because it sounded ridiculous, until I found out he submitted an affidavit claiming he was the sole financial provider, and I used him to fund my lifestyle while faking a pregnancy to manipulate him emotionally. My lawyer nearly choked when she read it. It was pages of lies, completely flipped everything around. He claimed I gaslighted him, drained his savings, refused to work, emotionally abused him, and pretended to be pregnant as a way to trap him. Said I had mental health issues. Called me unstable and painted me like some obsessed, jobless psycho who latched onto him for security. Not only that, but he included pictures from my own social media, screenshots of me from years ago, crying at a fertility clinic appointment, and used it as proof that I was emotionally unstable and fixated on the idea of pregnancy to an unhealthy degree. This man watched me break down over not being able to get pregnant because of him, and now he's using those exact moments against me. The audacity is next level. So of course we had to gather everything, every receipt. I pulled up my old payslips, joint account transactions, the fertility bills, the fake sonogram. I downloaded and showed him that he saved and framed everything. It's exhausting. I never wanted it to get legal this way. I thought walking away was enough. I thought leaving him on the fake due date was the final chapter. But it's like he couldn't stand that I was the one who ended it. So now he's rewriting the whole relationship like he was the victim of some unstable gold digger who faked motherhood and ruined his life. And I guess that makes him the grieving, loyal, strong man who's just trying to start over. What's worse is that he's feeding this version to people who want to believe it. I found out through a mutual friend that Sean's fiancée, Lily, is now telling everyone that I was the reason he got depressed. She said I lied to him, tricked him, and that I stalked them for months after the breakup. Lily said she'd blocked me from everything, even though I never contacted her. And now she's claiming that she's scared I'll try to hurt their child when it's born. Apparently she's pregnant now, or at least says she is. And knowing Sean, I honestly wouldn't be shocked if he's repeating the same pattern, lying, manipulating, controlling, except now he has someone new to play the grieving father role with, and she's buying it completely. But the thing that hit me the hardest happened just a few days ago. I was out running errands when this random woman approached me in the grocery store parking lot. She asked if I was me, like full name. I froze. She said she followed Sean on Instagram and knew all about what I did to him. She actually said that. I did not even know who this woman was. She told me I should be ashamed and that she hoped I got the help I clearly needed and that I should leave the poor man alone and stop trying to ruin his life. I was stunned. She said it out loud in public and people stared. I did not even say a word. I just got in my car, sat there shaking for 20 minutes. I never thought I'd be publicly shamed for a pregnancy that never happened, one that I only faked because of what he did to me, and now I'm the villain in someone else's story. In his story. Made me realize that Sean does not need me in his life to keep controlling it. He's still managing to stir things from a distance, still using the ghost of a child that never existed to shape how people see him, and even worse, to change how they see me. It's not even about me anymore. It's about the role I played in his fantasy. I was the crazy ex, the liar, the unstable one who broke him. And the more I fight back legally, the more he paints it like I'm obsessed and will not let go. But I'm not stopping. Not now. Not when I've come this far. I did not burn everything down just to let him build a castle out of ashes and call himself the hero. If he wants to keep dragging my name through the mud, he better be ready to drown in it too. Because I have kept quiet for too long and now I have got nothing left to lose. Update 4. Hi, this will probably be my last update because I honestly can't keep giving this man space in my head anymore. It's been a chaotic ride and I thought I had seen every twisted thing Sean could possibly do. But he managed to pull one final move that actually made me laugh. Not because it was funny, but because it was so desperate and pathetic it did not even make me angry anymore. It just confirmed how far gone he really is. Last week I got an official looking envelope in the mail. No return address. Opened it and saw a neatly typed letter from Sean's new family attorney, claiming Sean wanted to settle things peacefully and offer me a financial settlement in exchange for a public statement admitting I faked the pregnancy out of spite and emotional instability. They even included a drafted statement for me to review and sign. It said things like, I took advantage of Sean's kindness, fabricated a pregnancy, and damaged his reputation intentionally. He wanted me to post it on social media and send it to a list of people including his boss and Lily's family. In exchange, he'd give me $20,000 and drop all attempts at legal action. It was honestly so ridiculous I read it twice just to be sure I was not hallucinating. I sent the whole thing straight to my lawyer, who confirmed the so-called attorney did not even exist. It was just Sean, again, trying to manipulate me into cleaning up the mess he made. I did not respond. I did not post anything. I did not even give him the satisfaction of acknowledgement. Instead, I finally did something I'd been holding back for months. I sent Lily everything, every document, every photo, every screenshot, the vasectomy papers, the fake sonogram, the fertility bills, the messages from him, trying to spin the story. I dumped it all into one file and sent it anonymously, no explanation, just the truth. I do not know what she's done with it, or if she believes any of it. I don't really care anymore. What Sean chooses to do with his life, his lies, his weird memorials and fake babies, that's his circus now. I'm out. Completely. I'm done trying to fight someone who lives in a fantasy. I have moved again and started a new job, changed my number, and for the first time in years I actually sleep through the night without feeling like someone's watching me. Stay tuned for more stories from our girl relationships.